this video we'll be going over functional groups. Now before we start, let's define what a functional group is. It's a substituent that causes a molecule's chemical reactions. And so with that, let's start with hydrocarbons. Now hydrocarbons are compounds that consist of mainly carbon and hydrogen atoms. So the first one that we have is alkanes. Now they are hydrocarbons that only contain single bonds, as you can see right here, and they usually have the ane suffix. The next one that we have is cycloalkanes, and they're just alkanes that form rings, and they're a little bit different from the aromatic hydrocarbons, which we'll get into a little bit later. The next one that we have is alkenes, and they're again hydrocarbons that have double bonds right here, and they usually end with the ene suffix. What we have next is the alkynes, and they are hydrocarbons that contain triple bonds, and they usually have the yne suffix. The next one is the alkyl halides, and they're just halogen substituted alkanes. And yeah, as you can see, X can refer to any one of these halogens. The last one that we have is the aromatic hydrocarbons, and they are derived from benzene, a 6-membered ring with 3 double bonds. Alright, and the next one that we have is functional groups with oxygen. First one that we have is alcohol, and it usually contains a hydroxy group, which is this OH, and they end with the OL suffix. Next one that we have is ethers, and they consist of an oxygen bonded to 2 alkyl groups. Now the R prime right here can consist of the same alkyl group as this R right here, or it can be different. The next one that we have is aldehydes, and they contain a carbonyl group, which is the C double bonded to an O, and again that is the carbonyl group. Now the aldehydes usually contain a carbonyl group bonded to an R group, an alkyl group, as well as a hydrogen. Now they usually end in an AL suffix. The ketones is the next functional group that contains an oxygen. Again, they have the carbonyl group, the C double bonded to an O, and instead of the aldehyde, which is bonded to a hydrogen, they have 2 alkyl groups. And they usually end with the ONE suffix. Last one that we have is the carboxylic acid, and they usually contain the carboxyl group, which is the C double bonded to the O as well as the OH. And they usually end with the oic acid suffix. Now carboxylic acid derivatives. Carboxylic acids can be converted to many things, such as acid chlorides right here, esters, as well as amides. The last group that we have are functional groups with nitrogen, and so the first one that we have are amines, and they are like ammonia, but they contain various alkyl groups, and so they can be primary, which is right here, they have 1 alkyl group. They can be a secondary amine, which contains 2 alkyl groups, and then it could be a tertiary amine, which contains 3 alkyl groups. The next one that we have is the nitrile, and they contain the cyano group, which is the carbon triple bonded to a nitrogen. And then the last one that we have is an amide, and it kind of looks like a carboxylic acid, but instead of the OH on the right side, it contains an NH2 or any various amines. So let's look at some examples now. So the first one that we have right here looks like we have a ether, and I'll circle that in red. Alright, and so we have an ether right here, and it looks like we also have an aldehyde right here. Alright, now if we have trouble remembering these functional groups, we can look at these flashcards that I've made on the left, and these kind of are on the right, I'm sorry, and then these kind of help reinforce these functional groups that we had mentioned up above. Alright, and we go to the next example. So it looks like we have a aromatic hydrocarbon, and I'll circle that in red right here. And then we also have a ketone, which I will circle in blue. Right there. And again, if we look at the flashcards on the right, this matches the functional groups that we have. So here's the aromatic hydrocarbon right here. And then we have the ketone, which is the carbonyl group bonded to 2 alkyl groups. Carbonyl group, 2 alkyl groups. All right, and the last example that we have, you might see the one on the left a little bit. You probably won't, but you know, it's just good to be familiar with any type of situation that you might be presented with. It's not the line drawing like the previous 2 examples, but that's okay. We can draw out the line structures, which I've already done for you on the right. But feel free to draw the line structure out if that makes you feel better. In this compound looks like we have 3 functional groups, and so in the red looks like we have an amine, and that coincides with this right here as a primary amine specifically. Then looks like we have a carboxylic acid group in the blue, and again this coincides with that on the right. And then the last group that we have is an OH group, which is a alcohol, and again that coincides with this particular flashcard right here. Looks like an alcohol. All right, so that concludes the functional group portion of the organic chemistry videos. Here are some of the flashcards that we used, a little preview, and so these all have the functional groups that we went over. Again, this will help you with any study that you might need, so I'll link those down below. Also, there will be a package that contains all these study aids. If you are interested in it, I'll also link those down below. Hit that like button, subscribe buttons, help support the channel, and share it with any friends you think that need organic chemistry help. In the next video, we'll be going over SN2 reactions. I'll be putting out more videos, so just let me know down below what you'd like to see next. Social media links are also down below, and as always, remember, you gotta go.